So entire application itself indicates that we are going to deal with multiple number of layers in our project implementations. So what is the essence of an entire application means? If we have more number of layers, then obviously it was a great effect in terms of security perspective, security perspective, perspective, and this is one of the reason. And one more reason is maintainability of an application is also simple. And one more reason we have, that reason is application performance will be equally shared to the multiple layers of layers instead of burdening to the single layer. See, what does it means? So generally, why entire means? So tier is nothing but a layer. So in real-time applications, you may heard that this is a presentation layer, this is a business logic layer, this is a data access layer, or this may be a business objects layer. Like you may heard, this is a service layer. Like this, you can extend as per our, project architect. So why these layers are there means, so generally if you implement a project, if everything in a single file, so then automatically burden on the application will be reduced. If you segregate that logic into multiple number of layers, then automatically burden will be splitted across all the layers, so that it is very easy at the time of performance, because equally all the layers carries their performances effects. And then whenever you are going to deal with a multi-layer means entire layered applications, the greatest advantage is maintenance of the application is very easy. So say for example, if you want to change a logic, so that logic part will be either you can be placed in business logic layer or data access layer. So there is no need to go to the presentation layer. You directly go to the business or data access layer and you can do whatever the operation that you want. Suppose if there is a change in database level, then you can go to the data access layer, that is called one tier. Data access belongs to one tier and business logic belongs to another tier, means layer or tier, whatever it may be. So and presentation means whatever the controls that we are designing, no, that will be placed in one layer. Suppose if there is a change in database, we directly go to the database layer and we made some modifications and we can execute however we required. But if you are going to change anything in on our UI layer, means that is presentation layer, and we can go to the presentation layer and do whatever the change that we want, and we can build our application. We can, so no need to change entire layers, all the layers. So whatever the layer that we might have an effect, we can go to that and we can make our necessary changes and we can build our application. So in the perspective of maintainability, layer architecture is very good. And security, see this security, because for every layer automatically, which will be like DLLs will be created. So DLL is means dynamic link library. The name itself indicates that which is going to be support our application. So whenever this DLL is created, so that logic won't be exposed to the outside world, so that it is very grateful to us, is grateful to the user, so that automatically performance of an application or something, everything like security perspective it is good, and performance perspective it is good, maintainable purpose it is good. So that's the reason where our applications are generally in real-time applications are designed in the form of entire applications. Okay, so now these generally usually how these layers are categorized means layers are categorized categorized into multiple ways. Means multiple ways means y entire means n means maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 10, depends upon the project and depends upon the architect of the project that these layers are decided. But usually, but in generic way, we have a presentation layer, and we have, you know, business access layer, and you know we have a data access layer. This is the generic flow which everybody will follows. But some people follows like, you know, business objects layer. So from option 4, these are the depends upon the project. Business objects they will declare here. Some services layer, they will place a services layer here, and we have, you know, cross module functional functionality that they deal here itself. Okay, like, you know, like multiple layers will be there. Okay. Presentational layer means this is this layer this layer is responsible to handle handle UI means user interface design means design UI means to handle user design implementation. Means if you want to develop a form contains few text boxes, few labels, few buttons, and any of the few controls, that the entire responsibility will be taken care by the presentation layer. Business access layer means this layer is responsible to handle responsible to handle all the business logics which are related to the project. Okay. And data access layer, this layer is responsible to handle all the database interactions which are related to the project. Okay, so like, you know, for these three we are going to deal. So this is an optional thing, like, you know, business objects, in which here what we have to do is generally this layer is responsible to deal with multiple number of classes. Suppose if it's in larger based applications or enterprise based applications, they have a more number of classes. All the classes are going to be declared in this business objects. Responsible to deal with multiple number of classes related to the project. And you know, services layer means this layer is responsible to deal with either web services or WCF or web API calling mechanisms and cross module functionality. This layer is responsible to deal with other module interactions. Likewise, So in project to project, these layers may extend depends upon the project. So we can't restrict to 6 or 7 or 4. That's why we'll call it as an entire. But in general, these three are going to be taking place for everything. For all the things, these three are common. Rest of the thing are maybe extended, or maybe, you know, or we can restrict to 3, or that depends upon the project. Okay. Now let us develop an application with the help of entire architecture. Okay. Before going to that, I want to show you a pictorial representation of this entire implementation. So this is, consider this is one of the layer, and this is another layer. This is another layer, and consider this is one more layer. Okay, this we can call it as an presentation layer. Presentation layer. Here we have some form. Say for example, this is a form. User is interacting with the presentation layer only. They don't know what is the layers which are involved here. So this is our database. So interaction should be like this. So two-way interaction. They'll send request here and request here and response also. This is our business logic. So presentation layer and business logic layer are closely interacting with each other. Business layer, and other is data access layer. Data access layer is going to interact with the database. This is our database. Okay, whatever it is interacted gives a response to data access layer. Again, data access layer gives response to business access layer, and business access layer gives response to the presentation layer. And this is the end user, where end user is going to responsible of receiving the output. Okay, this is an end user. So as a client, we are going to receive the response from this application to this. So this is the typical flow of our entire application. Okay. So now I want to create a project. So in which how we are going to interact with this layer to layer, that I want to explain to you. So now, so basically I want to open a database. I just make use of, our existing tables only. So if we have more number of fields also, the same common pattern only, because we restricted with only few columns, right? Max of 5-6 columns, that's it. So but anyway, even though column size also increase, it doesn't matter. So same approach we are going to apply. It depends upon, our project implementation. So here we have a table called employee. I want to insert an employee data in a project with the help of entire application, and display this entire information, displays this information from the employee. And as well as, if you want, I can delete and I can update whatever the things that I want, I can make use of it. Okay. So now I want to take a new website. So go to the website, file new. So or else you can click on project also, no problem. Here you can select the website. So here under web category, you can select an empty web application. If you want to do this empty web application, so you don't get anything. If you want to go to the web forms, automatically you'll get the style sheets. Automatically you'll receive jQuery files and JavaScript files. Everything will be available in this web forms application. Here I want to take, ASP.NET empty web application, and I named it as entire EX. Okay. So automatically my solution is created with only single web.config file. So there is no other things. These are the web.config file. Now what I'm going to do is, See, we already discussed that it requires some layer, right? So whatever the form that we are going to declare here, just I want to create a new form. So I can make it as an operations. I can make it as a card operations. So click on this one. So this project act as a one layer. That layer is nothing but a presentation layer. Means presentation layer means it provides a flexibility to interact to the end user. So I want to create one more project for business access and as well as for data access. Just you can right click on your solution and click on add and you can click on new project. So here project is required. For this you can take the templates that whatever you want. Okay, whether console application or class library, whatever the application that you want. So but for this we are going to use a class library, and I can make it as I can name it as an business access layer, BAL. So my BAL is created here itself. Okay, now I want to create one more project. So because for another layer also required for this new project, for this class libraries only we have to take. So this is the template for class library. So then you can take DAL, data access layer. So like my data access layer is created. So in this, how we are going to, now we have to start an implementation for this. First of all, so I want to insert the data. Totally I have three fields to pass. One is name, another is department, another is active, right? First of all, I want to design my screen so that I can start from uh, step one to step two, step three, I can extend my example. So first of all, I want to take a new table. So where I can pass three as an input fields. So three as an input fields, and I can make it to 5. Okay, suppose I can take enter name of the employee. Next I can take enter department of the employee, and next status. For this I want to consider two text boxes. Okay, one text box here and another text box here. For this for the statuses I want to take a radio buttons. This is one radio button, and I want to take one more radio button. Okay, so here I would like to change the ID, that is txt name, and here I want to change it as txt department, and here is radio button rbtn active, and this is rbtn inactive. So here button for insertion of data, so I can make use of btn insert. Okay, btn insert, and here I can take one more button for display data, for displaying of data. So I can make it as btn display. I would like to take one more button, so two more buttons. One is for update, btn update, and other is btn delete. Delete. Uh, okay, we done with our presentation layer. This is the layer which we want, and I want to take one more control. That control is nothing but grid view. Okay, because when we click on this button, automatically we have to display the data, right? So this is the button. Sorry, this is the grid view. Here I want to change that view to GV details. So now we're done with our presentation layer. Now let us start working with, like, coding related with our business access layer and data access layer. Okay. So what my intention is, first I'll start with business access layer. So this is my class. I can change my class name is business access OP, means business access operation. I would like to change my class name into BAOP, which means that business access operations. Okay, so here, we have a four types of operations that we have to handle here. All the four types of operations are insertion, displaying of data, updating of data, delete of data. Okay, so for this I want to create four different methods: public, okay, int, insert data, insert data. This is my method. This method requires a few parameters. Like, as per our presentation layer, we required three parameters, right? So those three parameters I'm going to pass like this: string name, and string department, and then boolean value is active status, is active status. So, just I want to, because initially it will gets an error. So in order to avoid the error, just I want to make it as an 0. This is for insertion of data. Next is, so I would like to implement once I done with my data access also. So first time being, I would like to create a skeleton structure of my operations. Next is, I want to do display of data. So for displaying of data, I would like to make a return type as a data set. So before going to proceed for data set as a return type, I would like to using system dot data, because data set belongs from the data set. Data set, data set, you know, get data, get data, return new data set. That's it. So now in order to do update and delete, I make use of integer. Update data. In order to update the data, we need one more thing. That thing is our ID, right? Integer. So employee ID, emp ID. Okay. So similarly, if you want to do delete operations, just we need just emp ID is enough for us. Emp ID is enough for us. Okay, now these are the four different types of operations that we are going to handle here itself. So build this project. If we get this build succeeded, just go to the solution explorer. Shortcut key for solution explorer is alt control L, right? Just right click on this BAL project and click on open folder in file explorer. Go to the bin option, debug option. You will get one file called DLL file. DLL means dynamic link library. means this DLL we have to attach to the data access layer so that the communication between business access layer and data access layer will be established. Okay, so this is the business access layer. So now I want to come to the data access layer. So for this I want to change this data access DAOP, data access operations. The kind that how we want to interact with the database, all will be taken care by this layer only. So now what I'm going to do is I can write whatever I need. So because basically if you want to interact with the database, we require a few things. Those things are, you have to declare your namespaces system.data and as well as system.data.sql client. So those things you can declare here using system.data and using system.data.sql client. These are the things that you want to declare here itself. Now for this business access layer, the same things that we are going to present. I will explain to you. So what is the why we are returning int and why we are returning this data set. So first of all, and including this, we have to create a namespace for business access layer also using BAL. So how this business access layer will be communicated with this means, right click on this data access layer and click on add reference. Click on add reference. So then you can browse here and go to the browse option. So all these applications are saved in which folder? So all these applications are saved in an online app folder, in which we have an AWO.NET as a folder and entire AX, BAL and bin debug. This is the DLL that we want to attach to the data access layer and click on OK. So now see, namespace of this BAL is, namespace name is BAL. You can use that here itself using BAL. Okay, now you can create an object for your class which is belongs to a BAL. What is the class belongs to the BAL? BAOP is a class, right? BA, you have to create an object for that BAOP. So here you can create a class BAOP. This is your class equal to, you can obj equal to new BAOP. Now see, first of all, user sends a request to the presentation layer. See, end user interaction. So we type something that will be transferred to the business layer. Business layer transferred to the data access layer. In order to establish this communication, this type of communication, so we have to add this DLL to this data access layer. Okay, that is the basic funda that we are using here. Okay, now I'm using obj dot, so obj dot, so whenever we had some interactions, right? So all these interactions are coming with the help of our insert data. So and all the operations are here itself. If you want to transfer a data, so we can make sure that each and everything will be correctly coming here and each and everything should be follow as per the instructions, right? So first of all we have to establish a connection, right? So in order to establish a connection, we can make use of SQL connection class. SQL connection con equal to new SQL connection. Here server equal to dot and integrated security equal to true and database equal to, what is our database name? July 2017. Okay. So now I want to open my connection, con dot open, and as well as I want to SQL command. I want to declare my SQL command also here itself. Okay. CMD equal to new SQL command. So here you can write a query for the insertion. Insert into, so your table name. So table name is tble employee of column names. Your column name is name and dept and is active. Values single quote double quotes plus name comma single quote double quotes plus department plus single quote double quotes plus is active status. Okay, so this is my command. So cmd dot command type equal to command type dot text int I equal to cmd dot execute non-query. So return I means if it is executed correctly means we'll get how many number of rows affected by this query. If not, if it is not executed properly means we'll get an minus or zero something, right? So in order to do that, I make use I would like to return integer as my output itself here. So that's the reason where I take integer as my returns. Once we're done with this, just you can close con dot close. Similarly, so we can implement a code for get data also. So here before going to get data, you can declare here only we can declare no issues. So connection is common thing for this. So instead of insert a statement, we can make use of a select statement, right? Select a star from TBL employee. So this is okay. Now we would like to take, so this is also not required here. We would like to take SQL data adapter, DI equal to new SQL data adapter. So here you can pass your command. Okay, and you can declare data set. We have to initialize, we know data adapter has no accessibility to store the data. So data set, here you can take da dot fill of ds, means you are filling this data set. So now your data set contains some data and you can return your data set as an output, so that we can bind this data set to the grid view at presentation level. Okay, so before going to that, you can close your connection. So you must ensure that your connection is open and closed at the end of your functionality. And similarly, if you want to update the data, so for the updating of data we have to follow the same steps. So instead of insert query, we can write update table name. Okay, and set name equal to something, name equal to, generally we have to write name, right? So single quote double quotes plus name comma department equal to single quote double quotes plus department plus is active equal to single quote double quotes plus is active status, where emp id, where emp id equal to double quotes plus what is that emp id. Okay, so we are updating a query, so whatever we updated, it returns an integer value. So now we can update command. Okay, insert data, and this is nothing but delete data. Instead of update, we can use delete from table name where empid plus empid. So execute this one. Okay. So just you can build this one, build succeeded. Okay. So once this build is succeeded, for this also, for data access layer also, go to the open folder in File Explorer and go to the bin. You will get a DLL, dil.dll, because we have two DLLs. One is BAL and other is DAL. Okay. So now, so likewise, we done with our data access implementation. Now data access DLL we have to attach to the business access DLL. So that I will show you how to attach. So for business access layer, just you can add reference. How you add for the BAL? Similarly, go to browse option, go to entire apps, DIL and bin debug. Here we have a dil.dll. You can attach this and click OK. These are one step process, so no need to do for each and every time. In real time implementations, if this structure is created by your seniors or peers, then no need to do each and every time. Okay, so coming to this BAL, now this is the time to call all the references using. So what is the namespace for DIL that we can use? DIL is a namespace. When you add that references, then only your DIL namespace will be available for others. Otherwise it won't come. And as well as here, what is the class for us? DAOP, right? So DAOP is a class. The class is accessful. So you can write it as like this. Okay, data access equal to new DAOP. So for this data access dot, we can call that method. So those methods are available for us. We can pass the same thing, name, and as well as you can pass department, and as well as you can pass is active status. Similarly, get data. So you can call that function, and here also you can call update data. We have update data method, right? So just you can pass empid as a parameter for this. Name, department, and is active status is common. And next is, here this is not insert, this is delete data. Delete data. Just we can make use. This is the delete data. Delete data requires only empid as a parameter. Your entire build is succeeded. So for presentation layer, there is a communication with business layer. So now what we have to do is, we can add a reference. Right click on this, click on add, means this is our presentation layer, right? So for this we have to add a reference. Click on add reference and browse it. Go to the business access layer. So business access layer bin. So you can choose the bal.dll and click OK. Now your business access layer is attached here. So BAL. So here also for DAL BAL is attached. For BAL DAL is attached. Okay. So in this references we have another. Come to your UI layer, and I just want to add one more thing here. So the thing is, see, for deleting of a data we required employee ID, right? For updating of the data also we required employee ID. Just I want to create an one more row. Enter emp id. So when I click on this, I would like to take one text box. Txt emp id. Okay. So At the time of insertion this is not required. At the time of delete or update, then only that is required. Okay, so now when I click on this insert button, okay, so we added a reference of BAL, right? This is our BAL. So now we can add this namespace here itself using BAL. Okay, and then what is the class for BAL? BAOP is our class, BAOP class, and I can like business access layer. Just you can make use of this as a object for this. Now when you click on this button, so just you can take integer as a result. int res equal to business access layer dot insert data. For this insert data you have to pass three things. One is name, so right, name is in text box name dot text. So another is txt name, so department, so department. So and we have to pass one more thing before passing to that. Just you can comment this. So we have a two radio buttons, right? So I want to take bool is active. Basically bool is active is a is active is in false. So if radio button, right, rdbtn rdbtn dot active means if it is active dot check equal to true means check is true means I'll make is active equal to true. Otherwise I'll make it to false. Is active equal to false. So now we can pass this parameter to this one is active. Okay, so here if you receive, if our result is greater than 0 means, which indicates that our data is inserted successfully. Response dot write script, and I'll close my script tag. Okay, here I'm using alert inserted successfully. Okay, data not inserted successfully. Please check once. Okay, now this is the process that for insertion. Okay, similarly if you want to click on display data, you want to click on display data, just you can make sure you want to take one data set. So for taking of data set you can include one namespace. What is that namespace? We have to include using system.data, using system.data. Okay, for this system.data, data set is required. Yes equal to new. So here we have business access layer dot, what is that, get data. So data is displayed for us. So now we can DGV, data grid view is there for us, right? DG or only GV, grid view details dot data source equal to ds dot tables of 0, which means that first table I want to bind. So now GV details dot data bind, we can bind the data here itself. Okay, Now this is the approach. So for updating of data we have to pass a few parameters, so as similar to this. So for the active status, same thing. So we have, by using this only we'll check the active, and for this int res equal to, so business access layer dot update data. For this updation we have to pass empid. So convert dot, this is an integer, right? So that's the reason where I'm using convert dot to int 32 of txt empid dot text. So you have to pass this one, and txt name dot text, this I want to type, and txt department dot text, and one more thing is active. Okay, so now if I want to check if result greater than 0, so the same thing. So here we can make use of the same thing here, data updated successfully. So data not updated successfully. So now this is one delete. If I make use of delete, just I can check int res equal to, so business access layer dot delete data. For this I want to pass only one thing, that is nothing but convert dot to int 32 of txt empid dot text. Data deleted successfully. Also data not deleted successfully plus equals. In this way we implemented the card operations. So just I want to build this one, so ensuring that there is no build errors, will receive a message that is build succeeded. Just I am going to execute this one. I'm going to execute this one. Handle the exception where I got data and handle the exception occurred. Okay, this is because of when you create this, automatically it requires some constructor. So for everything, for every class, just you can create a constructor. So we have a shortcut key ctor. Here also you can create a constructor. So now execute this one. Build succeeded. You can execute this, because once we create an object, it always checking for the default constructor. If the default constructor is not available, then we'll get some exception. What it is saying? PAOP cardinal. I want to put a breakpoint here. Data access layer, and then I want to execute this one. So what you have to do is just remove the references and create one more time. So just I want to remove this BIL, and again I want to add reference. Just right click on this, click on add, sorry, click on add reference. So here browse it and go to the BIL and get the reference and add, and click on OK. Similarly for BI also, remove this one, delete this one, and then you can add reference. Go to the browse option, go to the DAL bin debug. So this is your DL and click on add, click on OK. Because once you change the code, because we placed constructor, right? Once we change the code, that may not reflected properly. So we can ensuring that that will be reflected properly by deleting the references. So I want to add here BAL reference. Click on browse and go to enter, and BAL reference is required for me. So just I used BAL and click on OK. So just execute this program. An unhandled exception of type system that occurred in behavior. The problem here is whenever we are executing this one, so we are creating a global object for this, right? So for everything, the global object is keep continue to call all the layers itself. That makes too much burden to that, and we'll get a stack overflow exception. So that's the way where we'll get an help that avoid unlimited looping or infinite looping kind of things. We'll got a suggestion. The suggestion indicates whenever you have a requirement, then only you can create object and you can consume. That is the main intention of this. Okay, that is the basic reason for this error. Just I want to employee ID is not at all required. Just I want to add information related to an employee, say for example Reka department, technical. So when I click on this act 2, just click on insert. I posted an operation. I think that is not in an debug run mode. Just I want to execute one more time and check. So employee is not required. So employee name I can take and active, and I click on insert button. So here this also you can handle in each and every connection. So why this error is because we no need to declare any object in global for this kind of scenarios. If you declare this as a global means that will be executed for each and every time. So these things I would like to declare in every method.
So then you have to declare in each layer, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay, inside this one.
Inside only we can, only for this.
Okay.
So here for this method and for this method. So just execute this one, build this one, and come to your part and you can execute. And I want to put a breakpoints for this because how our navigation flow will be there. So it was easy to understand for us. Insert the data. Go to the layers and put breakpoints. For one thing I'll put so that automatically all the functionalities are similar to that one only. So just I'm going to execute this one again one more time. So I'm going to pass an input here. So active, and I click on this insert. So I think I want to take like this only, so that is again I build my solution. So just execute this one. So I have to pass inputs active and I click on this insert. See, let us execute this one. So I'd like to pass this as an inputs. Click on insert. So see, from that layer to it will comes to the business access layer. From business access layer to it will execute to the data access layer. So this is in data access layer. Here also say data is inserted. So means one row is affected. We'll get an output like you can check. So data inserted successfully. Now you can check we have only 7 rows are there available here. So let us check. Now 8th row is created here. So that if you click on this display, then automatically data will be displayed. The same kind of thing. If you click on update, suppose I want to update something. So for this Reka, so technical staff, I want to make it as a technical staff. And when I click on this update, so true. Okay. Say here single quote is missed. So single quote here single quote is missed. So you can pass single quote just to build this application and run this application once. So if you have an error, something you'll get an error like this. So there a single quote is missed there itself. So here you can pass Reka. So you can make it as technical something consultant or something. So click on active. So click on update. Incorrect syntax. Okay, one more issue is there, that is incorrect syntax. Here we can write it syntax update table name tbl update tbl employee set department equal to ss where id emp id equal to 7. Just you can execute it. So here mistake is okay, we used unnecessarily table, so which is not required. So build this solution and you can execute this one. So here we have 12 and that is Reka. So I can make it as a technical constant active and click on update. Okay, data updated successfully and you can click on display. So this data will be displayed for us. So likewise we can make all the operations, card operations. Suppose if I want to delete 7 means I want to delete a 7th employee. So click on this delete, data deleted successfully. Click on display, then automatically 7th record will be displayed here also. In this way layered architecture has to be created. So because for this program we learn many things how to create a layered architecture, and don't declare a global architecture because we'll get infinity loop operations. Just you can initiate each and every object here itself in every layer. You have to do the same thing, because of that we'll end up with an error. So for this data access layer also, sorry, for this business access layer also, you can create each and every object here only, so locally, and we can access inside it, because when you create a law globally, then keep on repeating the loop itself. That makes something an infinite loop of exceptions for us. In this way, we can deal with entire applications. Any doubts so far?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Just
It's
need
clear, right? It's clear, right?
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay.